Hey guys, Merry Meet. This is Anastasia Autumnfire, and today is my first day of my tarot divination focus. I was originally going to pull cards randomly every Monday to see what card I was going to work with, but the tarot deck that I got, the Crystal Tarot, it actually walks you through if you want to gain a deeper knowledge of the major arcana. You start with 0 and work your way through. And I kind of like that idea. A while back I started learning the runes, and the way I was working on that was pulling a rune a day just to see what fate would cast me every day and just kind of working off of that. But then I found through a couple of my references that when learning runes, it actually is beneficial to learn them starting with, point A and working your way through, because as you learn one lesson, then that builds you for the next and builds you for the next and builds you through the next. So I wanted to take that ascension slowly but surely that way. And so I thought I would do the same thing with tarot. So the first card we are working with is the Fool. As I'm working with the Crystal Tarot, they do associate a crystal with every card. With the Fool is tourmaline. I got this little chunk at the Mall of America at a bead store. They have a great little section full of crystals and little gemstone type deals. I found this tourmaline. I just loved it. So it might be small, but it still works. I am pulling from 3 different references for this divination focus. One is a website called biddytarot.com. Then I also did buy a Tarot for Beginners book, a practical guide for reading the cards by Barbara Moore. Get that on camera. And I got that at the Enchanted Boutique in White Bear Lake, Minnesota. Great little witchy shop. I love it. And then, of course, the last bit is the Crystal Tarot by Philip Permut. This is the actual instructional book that came with my tarot deck. So yeah, what I'm going to do is first read from the Tarot for Beginners. This actually, if you're going to start learning, I really do like this because it off the bat will compare. They've got 3 different tarot decks that they work with: the Universal Weight, the Legacy, and Shadowscapes cards. So it works with those 3 tarot. I'm just looking at the Universal Weight simply because that's kind of the more traditional deck that most people start off with, or at least have worked with. But in the abstract, the Fool, for the Fool it says, while it is true that every step we take affects our future, the Fool represents a crossroads of major importance. The next step will be the start of a new journey or phase in our lives. As the name implies, the method for deciding this next step easily can be described as foolish by those who would prefer a rational approach with lists of pros and cons. Instead of making a detailed plan, the Fool makes the decision intuitively, taking a leap of faith. There is a sense of spontaneity, but in most images the Fool carries a bag indicating some forethought. The Fool represents moving without knowing precisely where you'll end up or how exactly you'll get there. Then it goes through those 3 different tarot cards, kind of the symbolism. Again, I am going to look at the Universal Weight. The Fool stands under a shining sun, filling the image with optimism. He looks at the sky as if following a vision. The cliff indicates a potentially dangerous situation. The dog can be providing encouragement or a warning. This fool is confidently following his dreams, but whether they will ultimately be realized is uncertain. The core meaning of this is the moment before the first step is taken. Just in reading that, you kind of can see why this is kind of the start off card for most people. For biddytarot.com, I found kind of the same information. It went into a bit more information as far as the appearance, and it also gave some information about the number, so I'm going to read a bit about that. It also gave, when the card is upright, it traditionally stands for beginnings, innocence, spontaneity, and a free spirit. If reversed, naivety, foolishness, recklessness, and risk-taking. So the Fool is numbered 0, the number of unlimited potential. It doesn't have a set place in the tarot, so the sequence can be either at the beginning or the end of major arcana. Also, a little thing that I found interesting, major arcana is oftentimes referred to as the Fool's Journey, and as such is always present, therefore no number is needed. I kind of like that. I mean, in learning tarot the way I am, I really resonated with that concept that it's the Fool's Journey, because as I go through the major arcana and really hone my intuition with these cards and study them and learn them as much as I can, I like that starting off with this is kind of my avatar of sorts, the Fool. On biddytarot.com, again, they're working with the Rider-Waite. The appearance, he's often shown at the beginning of his journey, facing northwest, which is the direction of the unknown. He looks upwards towards the sky, or spirit, with unlimited potential. He's about to step off a cliff into the material world. Symbols to be noticed. Sorry about that. Symbols to notice. He has a satchel packed, yet it is unopened. We are to presume that it has all the tools he may need attached to his staff. The white rose in the left hand represents purity and innocence. The little white dog serves as a guardian that will protect him through his journey and push him to learn the lessons that he wants or needs to learn. The mountains behind him represent the realm of spirit, which he has just left. And he will, let me reread that. Mountains behind him represent the realm of spirit, which he has just left and will spend the rest of his life trying to regain. I really dug that last bit. Which is why I wanted to reread it. As many of you know, the idea of afterlife has been something that kind of is really prevalent in my life, at least right now. It seems to kind of be a theme that keeps coming back, and something that I'm very interested in learning more about. There are those theories of the afterlife where we go to the Summerland, or we go to whatever life is beyond this. We go beyond the veil. And we're just, everything's perfect. Everything is fine. Everything is as it should be. But we don't have, as this energy, we don't have this life experience. And we kind of crave having that life experience. As odd as it may be, we want the drama of life, so to speak. So we want to learn new things. We want to experience new things. Perhaps in one life, we never had a child and we really wanted to know what that was like. So we will go back, and that's where reincarnation comes in. We'll come back to this life to have these experiences that were unfulfilled in previous lives. But as we come back, we're always struggling. Once we get into this realm, we're still struggling to get back to our spirit realm, because things were happier there, things were easier there, and even though we may not remember that part of our, that afterlife, so to speak, we don't have that exact memory. We know there is a spirit realm. That's why so many of us do look for faith and do look for a spiritual path, because we know there's more. We just don't know what it is, and we spend so much of our time trying to put our finger on what it is, because we're in a way trying to get back, even though we craved this life experience and it's kind of our decision that we came back. We still want to get back there. Okay, this has become confusing, I'm sure. My point was the idea of leaving the realm of spirit behind, even though you know you're going to spend the rest of your life trying to get back to that place, really was powerful to me, because it shows that quest is ongoing. Once you take that step out of the spirit realm, you're constantly learning, you're constantly struggling, you're constantly evolving till you finally get back there. And then you kind of chill out for a bit and decide you want to go again. So I really liked that. I don't know if that's how the afterlife is. I just know I've heard some theories where that's what is thought. And as soon as I read that on biddytarot.com, I instantly jotted that thought down. Okay, so now the last reference is the Crystal Tarot Interpreting Guidebook. According to that, the Fool brings a new beginning. He is a spiritual traveler at the start of the journey. He must take that first step. Energy is to be focused at the base chakra to ensure the movement forward. There is a wisdom about him, and he is open to ideas. He's wise because he thinks he knows nothing. I kind of like that idea. And I think that's what makes our spiritual path so fulfilling at times, because in the pagan community, at least, I've noticed an ongoing thing of everyone just say, you never know enough. There's always something more. The minute you find someone who says, I know it all, that's the person to run away from, because no, there's no way you know enough. And I think that's why wisdom is such a thing for us, because we're open to it. We admit we don't know everything, and we want to know more. That thirst is never quenched. And so I really dug that the Fool can represent wisdom, because he knows nothing. When you know nothing, you accept everything, and you question everything, and you kind of devour everything because you're hungry for it, if that makes sense. Anything is possible. Discovery is key. There are many choices on the journey, and every direction is valid. Kind of the idea that no matter where you turn, there's going to be an experience there, and so you're good to go. As long as you are learning something, as long as you are moving forward, there's no wrong way to go. This card also is associated with fun, adventure, and following dreams. Yet you should always be aware of dead ends. Uranus aids in the independent nature of this card. In this card, there's also a need to find balance. You need to find the happy medium between being in the moment and being too impulsive. You need to accept childlike wonder and innocence, but not be blinded to the truth. This card represents the point of inception, pure and optimistic. Like the Taoist uncarved block, you can be all you want to be. All you must do is create. Again, kind of that idea that you're wise because you know nothing. When you're an unshaped block, you can do whatever you want. It's untapped potential. You just need to create. You just need to do something, and you're golden. The card can also mean the end of a journey or a cycle. But remember, with every end comes a new beginning. So, one of the reasons why I like the Crystal Tarot was because it gives you correspondences to other things aside from tarot. So, correspondences, we have the planet Uranus, the crystal tourmaline, and the chakra is the base chakra. Tourmaline is very protective, and the the connection to this card is that because it is so protective, it will help you on your journey and help give wisdom to make the best choices for you. Things about this card, again, it's very close to the universal weight. As you see, there are little chunks of tourmaline here, and I like that they're 3, because you know me, and the number of 3 makes me happy. Again, unfortunately, with this crystal tarot book, they don't tell you what all the symbolisms mean, so I've got to kind of go off of the universal deck. Again, in the left hand, you've got the white rose for innocence and purity. You've got the satchel on the staff showing there has been some planning. There are tools there, but it is unopened. So you're not entirely sure what was brought to the party, but stuff is there. You've got the mountains in the background representing where you have been. You've got the sun for the optimism, but again, you're going off of that cliff and we're not sure what's down there. The one interesting difference between the universal weight and this deck is it does still have the guardian dog, but it's black. In the universal Rider-Waite, it is white. I actually kind of like the black, and again, I don't know what the artist was trying to symbolize here. For me, it brings about a little bit of balance. You have this optimistic side to things. You've got the sun, you've got the white rose, you've got, you know, a very happy and pleasant look upon the face. But you also have preparation. You have some form of planning. You have some part of resourcefulness. You have a dog to guard you and guide you through this journey, but it's not the happy optimism or innocence and purity of the white that it is in the universal weight. It is black, which for me is very grounding, very much about balance, very much about kind of finding that foundation wherever you go and seeing both sides of things. You can have your optimism and your plucky attitude, but you need to remember to focus on the goals at hand, focus on your path. What are you going to need? Where are you going? And then, of course, as optimistic as up here is, this is all unknown. It's not to say it's negative. It could be very positive. The point is you don't know. And again, I think that's why I like the black dog, because for me, that just kind of shows a guiding force that's a bit more grounded, a bit more level-headed. So while we may be optimistic and full of vigor and just go get 'em kind of attitude, we do have things helping us along our path that are going to ground us a bit, give us that foundation we need to build upon. Even when we get into sticky situations, which happens oh so much, it's nice to have some supplies with us that help us at least adapt quickly, or perhaps a guardian to find our way out of said situation. All right, so this week what I'm going to do is I'm going to meditate with this card. I'm going to have this card with me at all times, as well as the tourmaline. I'm going to keep it with me and just kind of see the effects that it has on my week. I am going to work with giving tarot readings to friends, family, basically anyone that will sit down with me. Hi. As well as myself, and just kind of keep a journal and keep track of what I'm learning. If I have any big, huge aha moments throughout the week, I'm totally going to make a video at that time, because I know if I wait till Sunday to put everything out, it's going to be a hella long video, but B, I might forget things, because we know my brain does not work the way it should all the time. So yeah, so that is my plan. I feel really jazzed. I'm super energized. And I hope you guys liked this video. I'm sorry it was a little long. Monday's videos are going to be a bit longer because I want to get all information I found while researching out there. And then Sunday's videos also are going to be a bit long because that's telling you what I've learned through this week. If you have anything to add, if you are amazing and know tarots backwards, forwards, and every other way, or if you've just experienced things with the Fool card specifically, please feel free to comment below. Let me know what your findings are. Even if you haven't experienced with the Fool, if you have any aha moments, or if you have a reference of your own that kind of brings up another aspect, please share it. I think that's the best thing we can do as a witchy community, is share and share alike. Please like, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Yeah. Otherwise, I think that's it. I hope you guys have a very blessed night. As always, I will see you guys later. Thank you and many blessings.